Okay, I think we'll call this meeting to order. All right, very good. Can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Chan,
Here.
Commissioner Chang Frank,
Here.
Commissioner Martin,
Here.
and Chair Abbott.
Here.
Commissioner Kent and Commissioner Trinkle will be absent tonight. I'm not sure about Commissioner Sardinas.
Okay, well, welcome her when she arrives. I shall read the land acknowledgement. The City of Albany recognizes that we occupy the land originally protected by the Confederated Villages of Lejeune. We acknowledge the genocide that took place on these lands and must make strides to repay the moral debt that is owed to this indigenous people, specifically the Ohlone tribe. We thank them for their contributions, which have transformed our community and will continue to bring forth growth and unity. The City of Albany commits to sustaining ongoing relationships with the tribe and together build a better future for all that now make this their home. Okay, thank you. And now the approval of the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Seconded?
Okay. Commissioner Chan,
Yes.
Commissioner Chang Frank,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
and Commissioner Abbott.
Yes,
Minutes are approved.
very good. Now it's an opportunity for public comment. Anybody who's in the audience or online who wishes to speak on something that is not on the agenda, now would be your opportunity. Please just come to the podium, tell us who you are, and let us know what you have to say.
Hi, thanks for having me. My name is Lucy Hackett. I'm a volunteer with Love the Bulb, a community-based organization dedicated to protecting the spirit and stories of the Albany bulb. And I'm here to just inform the committee about recent activities that Love the Bulb has been offering, which bring diverse residents together and align with the city's goals for public space activation and environmental stewardship. We hold bi-monthly garden work days at our California native garden at the Bulb, where volunteers tend the space that we call the library garden in honor of the previous residents. We are holding our annual garden planting day in January. And in addition to these regular community gardening days, we facilitate a variety of events that promote connection with the land and a sense of place for local residents. For example, we facilitated a nature journaling meetup, which teaches participants how to observe and connect to their natural surroundings. And last spring, we hosted several talks focusing on swimming in the bay, wastewater, and climate change. We also hosted bird walks with a local naturalist, teaching participants how to spot and recognize the amazing diversity of birds that call the bulb home. These volunteer-led activities demonstrate a vital, constructive, and growing interest in utilizing the Albany bulb as a space for community building, education, nature appreciation, and together with countless residents that regularly enjoy this uniquely Albany space, we're thankful to the city for ensuring that the Albany bulb remains a vibrant, well-cared-for asset for all its residents. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, and thanks for your work with that organization. Anybody else online? Anybody else here?
No hands are raised
No
online.
hands. All right. Oh, no, I think we have a hand.
Yes,
All right, nick of time.
and we will welcome Commissioner Sardinas.
No worries.
Paolo, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for giving me a few minutes. I'm a 14-year participant in Albany sports, specifically the adult soccer league. And through it, I've had really wonderful opportunities to make friends across the community. And it's something I truly really enjoy and appreciate. And I think the fact that it even exists says a lot about Albany and what Albany cares about its community and cares about people's ability to enjoy themselves and make friendships and many other things like that. And the reason I wanted to speak a little bit today is that I'm a little concerned about the increasing cost of the league. The league back in 2021, to participate as a team, it would cost approximately $500, and now, as of last year, it's gone up to $1,000. While I personally can afford that, many of my teammates and other team members cannot, and it's been very hard to field the league in the last few years. Last year, we sort of all the captains had to come together and really try to reach out wherever we could, and we barely scrounged together a league. I was hoping that there'd be that the commission could take a look at pricing, which I understand has been set to be more comparable to other leagues around the city. Around the region. But I do think the Albany League is a little bit different as a nonprofit league compared to a lot of the other organizations, and I also don't think it'll necessarily survive into the next year if prices aren't brought down a little bit to allow. I'm in my 50s, but there's a lot of 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds in the community that can find it very onerous to join. So I just wanted to bring this up. I'm also hoping to have some conversations with the Parks and Rec department itself. But I appreciate any assistance in taking a good look at that and ensuring that not just soccer but also the other sports that Albany offers can continue flourishing into the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I would mention that the Brown Act restricts what we can say for public comment, but we will certainly make note of this and perhaps bring it back in the future.
Thank you.
We can also ask city staff to recommend which department actually sets those fees or who to talk to in the city government.
Yeah, that's Recreation and Community Services, and so we'll pass the comment on to them, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Okay, thanks.
And thank you very much for your comment and bringing that to our attention. Any other public comment?
No, no other hands raised.
Okay. Very good. Moving on then to presentations. Item 4.1, the Fair Play in Community Sports Act.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Joy White, and I'm a Recreation Supervisor with the Recreation and Community Service Department. Today, I will talk to you about Assembly Bill 2404 for the year 2025. Assembly Bill 2404 is the Fair Play in Community Sports Act. It's a law in California passed in 2004 that prohibits gender discrimination in community youth sports. This law has been in effect since 2005. The Fair Play Act requires girls to be provided with opportunities to participate in community sports programs that are equal to both quality and scope to those provided to boys. That includes all sports programs run by recreation departments and third-party programs that use city facilities. The Fair Play Act is equivalent to the Title IX in education and federally funded programs. The goal is for girls to be accorded opportunities for participation in community youth athletic programs on an equal basis, both in quality and scope. The benefits for girls participating in sports are, but not limited to, greater academic success, responsible social behaviors, and increased opportunities for athletic scholarships. Now I will give you a broader picture of how we implement AB 2404 by explaining what space is available, how the application process works, and the priority use system. The City of Albany has 2 baseball fields that are reservable for sports, but that are not limited to baseball, softball, soccer, and ultimate frisbee. Memorial Field is located adjacent to the high school. The gates are locked, no dogs are allowed, and the field has no lights. Ocean View Field is located at Ocean View Park and open to the public, and lights are available when there's reservations up until 10 p.m. The fields are reservable for 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, February through November. We close the fields November through February for winter maintenance, and we close it 1 week in the summer for maintenance as well. In the City of Albany, there are 7 tennis courts and 4 pickleball courts. They are reservable, but otherwise open for first come, first serve play. There's 4 tennis courts at Memorial Park. The lights are free and available until sunset, or available from sunset to 10 p.m. Ocean View Park has 4 pickleball courts, 1 tennis court, and the lights are available from sunset to 10 p.m. as well. Terrace has 2 tennis courts, and there's no lights. To apply for reservations on the ball fields, we have 3 different seasons: spring, summer, and fall. Spring ranges from February to June. Summer ranges from June to August, and fall goes between August and November. Applications are available online by sending an email to the Recreation and Community Service Department or coming to pick one up at the Recreation and Community Service Department as well. Submissions are started in November for spring, March for summer, and July for fall. Once applications are received, they are dated and time-stamped so that we have the priority of when we receive them. In that application process, there's a questionnaire for AB 2404 that's required by all organizations that function under the age of 18 or serving youth under the age of 18. They are required to self-report the number of boys and girls that they will be having that season on our sports fields. Priority use is determined by the master fee schedule. There's a part on page 20 that lists them out. We try and give girls priority to help balance off the number of boy teams that are on the field versus the number of girls. Here's a small glimpse of what the priority use looks like. In the master fee schedule, like I said, it could be found on page 20. We start with the department-sponsored athletics or activities, school-sponsored, which classifies AUSD, that we also have a joint use agreement with, and then St. Mary's High School, and then next will come up will be the Peralta Community College or the UC Berkeley, and then we fall into all of our youth categories. Now I'll present to you the annual data for 2025. Here are the numbers from 2025, broken down per season, broken down per girl and boys. In the spring, we have a lot more boys because, like I said, we have the joint use agreement with the high school, so we house their high school sports or their high school baseball team, to whereas we do not do their girls softball team because they have their own sports field. In the summer, we host a lot of different camps, so they have a lot of different numbers coming through. And then in the fall, we have more soccer, and the numbers pretty much average out to be about the same. Here's a list of a couple of the organizations we work with in regards to who kind of reports their numbers to us annually. Here are some new offerings we had start this year and that we're looking forward to in 2026. These are our contract classes that they work with the city in the Recreation and Community Service Department. Skyhawks Volleyball, they ran a couple of camps and classes. Skyhawks Basketball, they did camps this summer. Hit Elite is a new group that's running tennis classes and pickleball. And in 2026, we're looking forward to starting NFL flag football. Thank you today for your time. Do you have any questions?
All right, thank you very much. Bring it back for commission questions.
Yeah, I have a question. I think the last time you presented, you had the data on like the numbers and if we were meeting the goal. Just wondering if you have that or if it's the data that you basically had last year of the comparison between the boys served and the girls served.
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Mine,
there's-
maybe
there's
it's
a
a slide.
chart,
Oh, is
there's
this
a
slide?
diagram.
Okay, I'm sorry. If
Yeah.
we could stay on that for a minute.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I need to
Yeah.
okay.
Not quite a total, but
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So pink are the boys. Okay.
the trick is that in the spring, BGSL uses the high school or middle school, I guess,
So in this,
fields, and Little League uses. It's kind of a trade-off, and Memorial, I guess, is kind of a.
Oh,
League
so the girls softball uses Albany Middle School?
No, an AUSD field. whereas
USD's field.
baseball
Oh, I see,
is
like-
using Memorial, which
Got it.
even though it's next to the high school, is still a.
And AUSD is either Ocean View or,
so AUSD has their own field. That's where the girls are.
I don't even know where that,
Where's that?
yeah, where's that?
On the track at middle school.
Oh, the Albany Middle School, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought, okay.
And so then the baseball team utilizes the city facilities, which is Memorial Park and Ocean View.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for you to do this like immediately, but perhaps for next time, it'd be great to see like, for the distribution of what sports, if that makes sense, like the 726 in the spring, how much of that is baseball versus lacrosse versus soccer?
I can tell you right now, a ton of it is baseball
Okay,
because it's baseball season and Memorial, with it having no lights, the time is limited, and the high school uses majority of that field. And so
And
then,
this-
and then we get into Ocean View Field where there's lights, but then it becomes later in the evening to where you don't have too many youth programs running that late.
okay. Right, so Ocean View is considered city, it's partly
Ocean View is the
USD,
city.
but there's mostly city, right? Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's the line
Yeah,
is
it's like-
in the outfield. And field, midfield. And so too with field, partly. School district.
Does the state give requirements or guidelines for what numbers should look like, or does the city have goals, or, yeah?
Our goal is to always increase girls' participation, but we also have to receive that. We don't just we don't have a specific goal, but of course, if the girls come in with applications and the time is there, we definitely give them that priority slot to balance out the boys that use the field and the girls who use the field.
So these numbers get submitted to the state, or they're just reported at a meeting like this?
They're reported to us. They don't get submitted to the state.
I'm sure that there are situations where an audit would be called.
So the Assembly bill doesn't require sending the data to the state?
Not to my knowledge. I can look into it, but not to my knowledge.
I'm not sure on that. That's more of a recreation program issue. So,
Yeah, I can look
Joy can
into
look
it.
into
To my knowledge, we don't need to, but I can look into it and see if it's something we need to submit to them.
It's just maybe it's just they require internal tracking, not necessarily submission.
I do know that a number of years ago, when we were struggling with this, that spring number was really a problem. So we tried shifting. We tried giving EBGSL, Goshen View, and it just created no end of problems for the baseball and everything. It was just a mess.
Well, it makes me wonder though if this should be a combined report anyway with the school district.
I don't think it matters for the state.
So they're two
The
different
state
things.
doesn't care.
So
So you don't
so
get,
AB 2404 is for community-based stuff, recreation. Title IX is the school district.
so AB 22, this one
Four.
doesn't count anything in the school, interesting.
They're two separate things.
And even though we as a body and we as a city would be perfectly comfortable with the arrangement, practically, this will fulfill the need.
Yeah, and I hate to count for counting's sake, but it would be interesting as a sort of footnote on this, right? It's like, we know, even if it's stated there, we know that a lot of the girls' sports are on the Albany School District's properties, which are very well shared with its, anyway, just something like that, because the school district is providing a service for the community, because that's a league, that's not a school softball league, right? So, yeah, okay. I guess the only other thing is the reason I think it would be interesting to see for the girls' sports, what are those sports, is to see where we're getting those numbers from. Like, what sports are we getting those numbers from, especially in light of what kind of field, as we reimagine field space or sports flex courts, we can create infrastructure for those popular girls' sports. I mean, I'm not just talking about volleyball, right? Because like
yeah.
tennis too, right? Pickleball may become more popular too. So just to the extent that we know what those girls' sports are, is it even possible for them to play on these fields? So,
Speaking of volleyball, I saw that there was the Skyhawks volleyball. Where is that on Ocean View Field? And do they bring
No,
nets?
we actually, part of the joint use agreement with AUSD
Okay,
is
so it's the-
we use their space, they use our space. So we have a contract class, and it takes place in the Ocean View multipurpose room.
And it wouldn't be in these numbers.
It is in these numbers.
Oh, okay, even though it's an AUSD.
So because,
facility.
but it's still our contract.
It's contracted, okay, okay.
oh, well, that is a workaround though, right?
Yeah.
Like you could, so for the joint use though, do you still have to pay the school district?
No,
And is there like this many hours? Like,
yes.
okay. And where are we at with those? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, are we at 50% or 100% of those hours allotted?
So I would have to look into that and see where we are.
Okay, because I think that would be, I think that is
Alternative.
it's an alternative. Part of the thing is, because I've actually rented some of the school gyms, is they do bear costs, right? Like the city would of like maintenance and custodial, who's going to open up the door. So I could see how it would be beneficial for the city to offer community sports that the city doesn't have to actually pay that cost that a regular person would have to pay. Does that make sense? Like, anyway, so.
I think what's happening is the city is contracting with the league with the city, and then the league is paying those costs. Skyhawks is paying the cost of the school, just not the city.
Oh, really?
So what it is like, so for example, Skyhawks, they're in our activity guide. So we take their registration, and they're providing the service to the community of Albany, and we are using the space at Ocean View.
But no money is going to the school district for the space. That's part of the joint use agreement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise it would be, some of that gym space for Skyhawks could be $150 per hour. And so that's nice because the city of Albany then is offering that as a complimentary, and that boosts the number. So that totally makes sense. I think I don't know how to work that, but I'm just thinking how that could be a way to offer more community sports for girls with the school district property that would otherwise be expensive for the community members, so.
Right, yeah, subsidized
Subsidized, right, yep.
non-baseball softball.
Yes.
Or-
Yep.
Two questions. So the first was kind of teared off the volleyball question, but is basketball also rented at like the?
Yes.
Okay. And then I remember you used to do, and maybe you still do, like is it Play Like a Girl? Like the activity was by the library to try and like encourage enrollment in sports. Does that still happen? And is that to try to encourage these?
So we're not doing it at the moment, but we're continuing to always reassess our programs to see what we can offer.
Why? Is there a reason why?
Just staffing change, and then just looking at our availability. And
Well, I do have a question. On that note, how does a community member who might have a new offering that you'd want to partner with them on or feature, what is that process? Would they just call you, and what's the timeline in order to get into the next season?
so typically they can reach us at the community center, and we kind of talk to them and work with them. And I know we definitely look for more sports things, especially for girls. So like I said, the NFL flag football is coming up, and they open it to girls as well. So it's just a matter of them working with us, contracting with us, and then we kind of find the space and reach out to AUSD if we need like a basketball gym or anything like that.
Okay, thanks.
Can you go back to the list of organizations that the city works with? Roughly how many of those would you say, or what percentage are, like the city wanted something and then found someone to do it, versus some organization came to the city and said, we need space for our thing?
So this list right here is pretty much organizations that come to us that say they need space. In regards to us looking for them and working with them in a collaboration, that'd be part of our contract classes. So kind of the offerings we have in our activity guide.
Okay, and those are things that the city has control over. Do we offer things like volleyball and soccer that the girls might be interested in, or do we offer other things that boys might be interested in?
So when it comes to the contract classes, those are instructors who reach out to us, who kind of have this idea in this program they want to offer, and we have the space and we can advertise it. So it's pretty much based on who comes to us. So like I said, we have the NFL flag football coming. We've met with someone to kind of get that ball rolling. We do work with Skyhawks, who does different sports, and it's open to both boys and girls as well.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Just want to verify that the numbers are as they are. That's just demand. It's not like we're turning anyone away. I mean,
Correct.
if a girls' sports come in, you can have space,
Yes.
pretty much. All right.
And it's definitely, it can be hard because
Oh,
we
absolutely.
have the timeline, so once we fill it in that sense, but if they definitely come, meet the deadlines on the time, we provide them with the space.
Good. All right.
And one last question about the joint use agreement with the school. Is the gym space limited to Ocean View, or are you also able to use the middle school and high school?
We can use the middle school or high school. It's also based on their availability, so we just request gym space,
Okay.
and they kind of help us figure out which one is the best one based on their availability.
Okay, thanks.
During the summer seems like the good time.
Yes.
All right, we can open it up for public comment. No more questions from the, okay, open it up for public comment. Anybody wishing to,
I was giving it a second to see if any hands were going to raise, but no hands are raised.
no
online.
hands raised? We will give them one more second, and that has now passed. All right. Any, I mean, this is just a report, but any discussion or additional comments?
Yeah, I would encourage following up on Commissioner Sardinius' comment or question, encourage the city to resume the Play Like a Girl program. I know my daughter was one of the, I don't know, mentors or whatever, someone who represented a sport at that, and she felt that it was a really great connection for her, and it seemed like the public was getting a lot out of it as well.
Okay.
That's a third-party organization would bring that in, right? That wasn't something that you probably don't even know, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to refer all these to Recreation and Community.
Were you here back?
I was not here
Yeah.
when that was going on.
Right.
I was
I don't
here, but I
remember.
was not involved in
I
it.
think it's an organization. I think it was an organization.
It was an organization.
That brought in, yeah.
So who would pass that on to the Recreation Department? Would that be you, or would that be you? Or?
I think we'll all do it.
We've talked about this before. We've made this recommendation before.
Okay.
I think
Well-
probably you've made it before. but
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great
And
program.
it hasn't started back, so
Well,
here we
that's-
go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
All right, but hopefully next time. All right, Heather, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. All right. Moving on then, item 4.2, Albany Hill update on funding for the Albany Hill Forest Management and Habitat Restoration Plan projects.
Good evening, Margot Cunningham, Natural Areas Coordinator. And we wanted to give you a short update on funding for the Albany Hill Forest Management and Habitat Restoration Plan that was approved by City Council earlier this year. So we have obtained a Coastal Conservancy grant with the City of El Cerrito. And this was a grant that came about by the Conservancy actually contacting both cities to come up with a kind of demonstration project that could be replicated by other agencies. And both El Cerrito and Albany had wildfire resilience grants from the Coastal Conservancy. So working with the City of El Cerrito, we've come up with a demonstration project that involves tree removals. And so in Albany, we would be removing 25 to 50 trees along Taft. And in El Cerrito, they would be removing up to 190 trees in the hillside natural area. And I should say that this project, this demonstration project, is meant to address the wildfire risks that are posed by dense declining stands of eucalyptus and other non-native trees. Another part of the project would be planting trees for monarchs, and this would be the initial trial trees that we would plant, 24 of them, to see how they do, how the 4 species that we have selected, how they would do on the hill and how the monarchs would respond to them. We would also be doing community milling workshops. So after felling the trees, we would have them milled and invite the public to come and educate them about the benefits of reusing wood on site, and then have a giveaway of the lumber to the public so that they can make things with them, such as garden boxes and benches, and it would benefit a lot of organizations. And we would also have community habitat work days in both cities where we would educate people about the importance of native plant communities and reducing fire hazards and promoting biodiversity. We would also have invasive plant ID, weeding, identifying native plants, and how to encourage native plants that are already there to grow. And then there's also a workforce development part to this project where we're going to fund our urban tilth watershed restoration crew to get chainsaw certified and to purchase electric or battery-powered chainsaws and other equipment so that they can do more with vegetation management on the hill. Next slide. So that's the main funding that we're going to be getting. This is a table of other funding that, so we did apply for a Forest Service grant earlier this year, but we didn't get it. Right now, we're applying for an MTC Priority Conservation Area grant because Albany Hill is a priority conservation area. So it's a limited funding amount, but we're applying for that now to do some kind of initial work similar to what the Coastal Conservancy grant would be doing. We had a project, we actually submitted the Albany Hill plan to the Community Wildfire Protection Plan for Alameda County to get into that pool of funding that there may be future grant possibilities from that. And then we're also looking at internal funding within the city that we can possibly use for matching with other grants that we apply for. Next slide. So that's it. I'll take any questions, but first I want to say that the monarchs are clustering on Albany Hill, and I encourage everybody to go out there, especially the best place to see them is you go to the summit where the bench is, and they're in the trees right around there, and they're just, if you go in the afternoon, it's when they warm up more, so they're fluttering around, and you can see them. They're flying around. If you could go there in the morning as well, but they're all huddled up, not moving, so they're harder to see. So I'll take any questions or comments.
Okay, commissioners, any questions for Margot?
First, this is great. Congratulations on getting the Coastal Conservancy funding. I was wondering if you've looked into Wildlife Conservation Board or maybe connected with the local RCD.
Yes, we did some initial application or pre-application with that, and that's something that we actually need to get back to because they came back and said, well, you're not quite qualified for this. But then we were going to meet with some other people in that board to find out if we would qualify. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up to remind us to get back to that.
I think CAL FIRE, I don't know if it's through the council you mentioned, but CAL FIRE sometimes has grants.
Mm-hmm.
I had a few questions. One grant related was the USDA grant. Sounds like we didn't get that one. Was there any feedback from that agency that was useful?
So they said that we were not part of a community wildfire program. And I think what happened is we are part of the county plan, but somehow I guess when we filled out the application, we didn't make that clear. I don't know.
Are those an annual opportunity, or do you have any sense of that?
I don't know.
Okay, so maybe a redo.
Yeah.
And then from the monarch trial tree planting, are these the non-eucalyptus species we heard this expert talk about that have roughly the same size and shape that they recommend as substitutes for eucalyptus?
Yes, mostly. There is one eucalyptus species, but it doesn't have the characteristics of the blue gum. It doesn't shed as much bark, and it's adapted to the drier soil conditions on Albany Hill.
Okay, and my other question related to that is, what's the idea for where those would be planted? Because it seems that the monarchs are spending most of their time on private land on the western slope. So,
Yeah, well, they spend, it depends. Sometimes they're on the west slope, the southwest meadow right now, actually, but other times they're up at the top on city property. But yeah, the trees we're going to be planting in different areas along the crest between the Taft turnaround and just below the summit, kind of that meadow where the cross used to be.
okay. All right, thanks.
I think that's spelled out in the master plan, isn't it? With
It is,
the
yes.
trial trees and where they'd be, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to basically, this is carving out parts of the first project there, so we're going to follow that plan.
Cool. All right, other questions? Okay, we'll open it up for public comment. Anybody raising their hand?
No hands raised.
And still no hands?
Still no hands.
One more time?
One more time, going once, going twice.
Very good. All right, comments for Margot, other than thank you very much?
I just wanted to mention that Bay Nature is hosting, I think you have to be a member, but a hike on Albany Hill on Sunday. They're starting at Sprouts and then going there. The Xerces Society is leading it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and they're Western Monarch Count coordinator, and I think this year, so also, you guys know, I know a lot about monarchs. The numbers this year, there's about 8,000 in the population, but so pretty low, but Albany Hill is actually one of the bright spots, doing better than it has, which is really exciting. I also just want to point out, there's been some really cool tagging studies where people have put these little solar-powered radio tags. I went and helped with that. And so if you download Project Monarch app, you can see that. And there are some discussions about wanting to do some in the East Bay, potentially in Albany. So I might reach out.
Great. Yeah, I'd be interested in helping with that.
But yeah, anyway, it's great to see you guys had a plan and now you have funding to put it into action. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
I think hearty slap on the back, that's great. It's exciting to have that opportunity and to have more coming in. Good job. Thank you so much. And thanks for the report and presentation. All right. Moving on then, item 5.1, Marin Avenue Pavement and Curb Ramp Rehabilitation Project Phase 2 Tree Removal Application.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm James Sorelli, one of the engineers over at the Public Works Department. Unfortunately, John Hawkridge is not available today, so I will be taking the bulk of the presentation, and Mark will also be here if there's any other questions. I'm here to talk about tree number 1643 at 1451 Marin Avenue removal. So, of course, I'll just briefly rewind this. We've been here twice already to talk about the project, so I won't go into too much detail other than it's a streetscape project between Key Route and the Berkeley border on Marin Avenue, pavement work, stormwater work, traffic signal work, ped and bike improvements, new intersection lighting. Council awarded the construction contract over the summer. We've been working on the storm drain improvements mostly since September, with civil work actually expected to begin next month. And then later in summer, we'll do the actual paving work. So there's about, give or take, 104 street trees within the project limits. Generally, we're not really doing much impact to these trees because a lot of the civil work is about extending the corner further in the street, not so much encroaching on the existing trees. And a lot of our design, we have, to the best of our ability, adjusted locations of infrastructure that would interfere with trees. Where we're doing sidewalk repairs around the trees, we do our standard curve. Then the project has general conditions and specifications related to tree protection in it. Tonight we'll be talking about the northwest corner of Curtis and Marin. That's where tree 1643 is. It's a 21-inch diameter London plane tree. It has been and it still is in poor condition. And this is along Marin. Back in 2016, there also was another city project, the Marin Curtis Safety Improvements Projects, that kind of did the bulb outs and the RFBs at that particular intersection. That likely did impact the root system. We have an existing cross drain there in orange where it's essentially taking water, stormwater from Curtis to bypass the curb ramp, and it shoots it out into the gutter along Marin Avenue currently. Originally, this project had proposed to just do the work and preserve the tree. What's required in our project specifications is that, the contractor does have an arborist on site when they're looking at their work. They have to inspect and review any impacts to street trees when they're doing their work. So the contractor's arborist did come out here for a pre-construction look, and he stated that the excavation impact here would be high. We are digging down 10 feet for this storm drain inlet. And so the green is, where we're going to put the new connection. So this is an existing cross drain, but we're essentially where the cross drain exits. We're going to put a proper storm drain inlet in, 10 feet deep down. That'll connect into the storm drain main. So there's no longer just kind of shooting water from Curtis down into the Marin gutter, but actually capturing it into the stormwater main. Ultimately, the contractor's arborist recommended removal, as the failure consequences could be severe when they're, doing this excavation. Their recommendation was mostly based on root disturbance on this tree. So as per the project specifications, they then transmit their recommendation to our city forester, Joan Hawkridge, who then takes a look at their recommendation and reviews the tree for next steps. When John did actually go out to look at this tree, he found a lot of issues with it that weren't even related to the construction impact that was occurring. He found a lot of dieback and decay in the canopy. There's a large conch growing where the canopy main limbs emanate, so that indicates some level of trunk decay. Trunk decay. Southeast limb is dead. There's bark missing along several sections of the tree. There's actually several cavities too where old cuts haven't healed over. Then he also, noted that there were several roots pruned back in 2016 that probably started the decline of this tree. So some pictures he shot. There's the conch there on the left, and you can see it again on the bottom on the right picture. You kind of circled out the dead stem there in the southwest part of the tree, noted all the decay and dieback. This tree has been topped in the past too. And essentially all the sidewalk around this tree was removed and replaced in 2016. So pretty much where there wasn't grass, there is a likelihood that the contractor at the time pruned the roots. Then on the right, you can see how close this 10-foot excavation will be, where we're going with it, where the contractor's going with it. That's going to impact the one side of the roots that likely was not pruned during the 2016 project. Separately, John did note that the tree is just in its later stages of decline, and if we were to just prune back the dead and dying portions and really only slightly delaying the tree's demise, that's in poor condition and it is dying. It's ultimately a candidate for removal just because of its history of topping, the decay and dieback, the previous excavation and root disturbance, a separate arborist recommendation for this current root disturbance. And then, of course, its proximity to the Marin Elementary. This is a high-use crosswalk for the school, and it's just a higher risk to pedestrians and children as a result. Fortunately, with this tree removal, we would not be able to replant in the same spot since it is so close to an intersection. There's the storm drain inlet there, and there's actually 2 young trees immediately planted next to it. One is an official city-planted London plane tree. It's 1 inch now because it's fairly young and it's in good condition. And there's a non-official tree, a Japanese loquat, most likely. Then it was probably planted by the property owner. And John believes that these 2 will grow in pretty well when 1643 is removed, and over time restore that London plane canopy that exists now. So ultimately, staff are recommending that pros approve the recommendation for removal of 1643 per our tree removal and policy and procedures. Section 21E is detrimental to public safety or materially injurious to the property improvements or utility services in the vicinity, and Section 21F, city approved project. And I will open it to questions.
Yeah, I have a question. Do we have any idea of who topped that tree?
I do not.
Doesn't seem to be under power lines.
Yeah.
London plane trees, my knowledge is that sometimes they're pollarded and pruned. I don't know if, I don't believe this, it doesn't sound like John believes the city did.
Yeah, I don't think we have had a program to top those trees up the London Plains, up and down Marin, so I don't think it was us. I don't believe there were power lines on that street, on that side of the street. I think there are.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that tree is unusually beat up, and
Yeah, and I wonder what it even looked like in 2016, because, yeah, just curious how much decline happened, or if what it looked like. There's no pictures.
I mean, anecdotally, I've looked through Street View, and it's been kind of a sad Charlie Brown
Even
tree.
since 2016?
Since 2016, but
yeah.
I don't know exactly when it was topped.
Because I don't know. I mean, I think in cases where we think the tree is going to fail because of construction and it already looks sad like that, I feel like, back in 2016, if it was that topped. But yeah, but my fear sometimes with some of these projects is like we keep it in and then just hack the roots, and then eventually it dies. So it's like it's like a slow death. But I don't know if we would know that really, right? I mean, we'd have to.
Mm-hmm. I would say that, with the way we do construction around street trees now, we definitely wouldn't put so much concrete so close to it. We would have likely pivoted the curb ramp so that way the landing's further away from the tree, and we do our standard curve. So it would have a larger planter, essentially. Assuming where the curb line used to be, it would actually be a larger planter space than it used to be, rather than here where they just probably packed them away for a safety project.
That's good to know. So you'll be making, so since that time, you all have made better decisions, or decisions that might be more, better suited for a tree.
I would say holistically our programs around design and construction, as well as maintenance and tracking of street trees, is so much more robust than they were 10 years ago.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
One question I had was if there can not or never be a tree in that location, will the city pave it over or do something else so that somebody doesn't forget and try to put something there later, or just it's fine to have just grass there and leave it be?
The plan right now is just to remove it and keep it as a planter strip. Doesn't stop like a property owner from
Planting their
planting
own.
something small
Okay.
and not a tree.
Or even just other vegetation or flowers or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Although it looks like they might have already planted elsewhere, yeah.
That was a big if.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Other questions? All right, public comment on this?
No hands raised.
Okay. Seeing none?
Seeing none.
All right. Discussion?
One other question, was there notice given out, either with like a signs posted or postcards or anything about near this tree?
We followed our process on this, is posted signs and sent the postcards out.
Okay, great.
So often the pictures have the sign on it, but these are just from, these are from earlier or something.
believe someone
Took them off?
took them off, if I recall.
Yeah. There we go. And when you notice that they're replaced, I presume.
If we can get to it in time, yes, but
Okay, well. All right. Well, any discussion or motion?
I move to approve the removal.
I'll second that.
Okay. Commissioner Chan?
Yes.
Commissioner Chang Frank?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner Sardinas?
Yes.
Commissioner Abbott?
Yes.
Okay,
I would
motion
be-
passes.
Looked like in 2016 as well. My guess is, though, back then, it was just like, well, we're going to try and we might be able to do it.
Yeah, could be.
That's kind of, okay. I believe that was the last. There's no subcommittee updates and announcements.
If no one else has any announcements. then
I can just remind folks that there's a free Picture with Santa opportunity. Santa on Solano, it's actually in Berkeley, but next 2 weekends, 12 to 3, district homes. We have a good Santa.
My announcement is the winter/spring activity guide 2026 is now available to view on the City of Albany's website. It features recreation and community service classes and seasonal camps, special events, and programs that take place between January and April. Programs offer a variety of ways to make sure your winter and spring in Albany are filled with fun and enriching experiences. Be sure to check it out. Hard copies will be available for pickup next week at the Community Center, Senior Center, or City Hall. One can be mailed directly to you by contacting the Department Customer Service at 510-524-9283 or emailing recinfo@albanyca.gov. Winter/spring class registration begins Tuesday, December 16th at 9 a.m.
All right, thank you. Any suggestions for future agenda items?
We'll always suggest that we look into whether or not Albany could become part of a B City USA.
B City. I thought we were already looking.
It was called what?
B City?
B City
B City.
USA.
I heard obesity.
Not obesity.
No.
I don't know if it was a City of Albany event, but the Senior Center had a really neat puzzle and game, like fundraiser sale that I didn't go to, but my family went to and said was really awesome.
And Mark, do you have any future agenda items that you're aware of?
I'm still sort of trying to plan out where we are, so I have a couple things brewing. One thing that's probably, it's going to council on Monday. There's a authorization for a contract to look at the volleyball and get some consultant help go through a process to identify a site. So that's going to go through this commission. It's going to be held by Dina, our new community development director, and so I'm not sure when that's going to ramp up, but that would be hitting us probably pretty soon. We do have back on cycle for tree removals. I don't know if John has anything in the queue. The other thing we're looking at is starting more presentations on the planting list. So talking about here's the trees, like in my view, what I want to be able to do is say, hey, here are the trees that we are planting, map them out. Now that we have the GIS on it, we can show where they are relative to canopy densities, and then we can talk about how we can do things more targeted.
Like varieties of trees or just trees in location?
Location, it would be location, and then are we planting in areas that have higher canopy, lower canopy, and this represents people who want trees instead of targeted, so that could give us an indication of, we need to have more of a targeted approach versus, what's kind of a community-driven of, people who want them.
Am I correct that the city accepted the street tree management plan, but hasn't taken any more steps towards adjusting that relationship of homeowner versus city management?
So we are in that process. it was, I'm trying to think of how many council meetings it was, we did an update on potential tax measures or measures for the 2026 election. And one of them that we got direction on to develop was one specifically looking at street trees and street lighting, potentially combined. And then with that, we were very clear that we want to update the roles and responsibilities. And so that's coming as a package. And so that'll be making it, we're on a pretty tight schedule to deliver that. So my sense is probably spring, we would have something that would be presenting to council.
And I could say that if you feel strongly about this, you can talk to the councilperson who appointed you. And then I believe January, we changed leadership mission, right?
Yes.
Checking, okay. I'm sorry, did you?
Oh, I just had one question about a potential future agenda item. Sorry to. So, I guess I don't know if it would fall under our purview or not, but there've been like a lot of coyote sightings, kind of deeper and deeper into Albany, and it seems like it could be something where there could be some awareness campaigns to help people understand.
We could do that. We were out, actually, I have a picture of one. We were at Terrace Park with our contractor to do the winterization, and one came running out of the bushes. It startled all of
I
us.
just see on Facebook people have a lot of questions, and I wonder if it's something that like the city could try to help people understand like what actions to take, or how to address their concerns.
Yeah, questions and concern I've seen people expressing, and the police sent out a statement about it as well. So if there's someone that the city could bring in, our commission, I think, would be a good place to.
Sure, I'll look into that. I know we sent out, I think, of a like fact sheet type thing that, but I'll see if there's some other type expert that can come in and talk with us.
Yeah, because they're definitely they're like human wildlife conflict or interaction type. I can send sources if that's of interest, but I just because it's a community concern that get to address.
It's startling when it jumped out. I was like, whoa.
And then for future items, we had Prop 68 going for quite a while, and then would you say most of those projects are done except maybe Pierce Street?
We have Pierce Street. Pierce Street is sort of the big one. There's some stuff at Terrace Park that we're doing as well. That would be shade structures and excuse me, and some amenities for dogs and that. And then kind of the seating at the tot lot. I believe, I'll check with Andre. They're in the works. They're either 26 or 20, calendar, I think in fiscal 27, so starting in July is sort of the last year for this. So I think many of them will have it closed out.
So we should be seeing some final presentations on Prop 68 funded projects.
Yes, yeah. We can give an update on those. I also wanted to resurrect the park updates, like maintenance updates. There's been some big changes in SB 1383 and how we're doing things, and I think it's worthwhile we update you on that, as well as some of the other kind of maintenance things that we've done in the parks.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
For this meeting.
Okay, great.